Mark 10 records a story of a man. As Jesus was leaving Jericho, his disciples and a large crowd, a blind beggar named Bartimaeus was sitting by the road. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out, saying, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." So this parade is accompanying Jesus down Main Street, Jericho. Bartimaeus, blind, fetid, wearing rags, gray eyes, hears the crowd, somehow hears it's Jesus in the crowd. And so he begins to cry out as loudly as he can, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And yet, even as he does, he knows where he ranks in the pecking order there of Jericho. I mean, he knows Jericho is a place of powerful people. Herod has one of his palaces there. He knows it's a place of rich people because of its hot springs. Rich people would come to enjoy the hot springs for medicinal purposes, they thought. Certainly there are ordinary people. Certainly there are slaves. But who's the lowest of the low in the pecking order? Bartimaeus knows. If you're thinking Philadelphia fans, that really is not very nice of you. Bartimaeus is thinking, I'm there, and yet he still cries out. And yet the crowd says sternly, "Be quiet. You don't have a voice here. Nobody wants to listen to you." Who is it, by the way, the people who don't have a voice today, who we think should be canceled? Many were sternly telling him to be quiet, but he kept crying out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And Jesus stopped. Jesus pursued Bartimaeus. I think one of the most powerful sub-themes of the Bible is that God pursues us. Does that capture you? I mean, it begins in the opening chapters of the Bible when Adam and Eve sin. And their sin breaks the world. They bring sin into the world. You ever wreck your dad's car when you were a kid? It's a horrible feeling. I did. I was on the way to, yes, you have. I was on the way to basketball practice one Saturday morning, and there was something on the floor, and I did this, and the next thing I knew, I looked up, and there was a sign flipping over my dad's new car. It's a horrible feeling you have. Adam and Eve didn't wreck their dad's car. They wrecked their God's world. Think about all the sin. It doesn't matter what sin you've committed, how awful your sin is. Your sin didn't wreck the whole world. Adam and Eve's sin affected everybody who ever lives. Your sin may affect a lot of people. If anybody deserved shame, if anybody deserved isolation, guilt, it was Adam and Eve. But what's the very next thing we see? Adam and Eve go into hiding in their shame. But it's God who goes looking for them. Adam and Eve, where are you? God pursues. God's pursuing you right now. Maybe some of you feel like you're in a pretty dark place. You need to hear, God pursues